was an old farmer who sat on a rock, stroking his whiskers and shaking his fist at his neighbors who sat on their ricks, teaching their children to play with their kite strings and marbles in the old days of yore. Along came a lady who looked like a decent young lady and walked like a duck. Said she discovered a new way to bring up the children, to sew and to knit. The boys in the stables were shoveling up contents of stables left after the hunt. The carman was feeling a nice piece of straw from the stables, cleaning the walls. In came the dairymaid to play with his dog in the dairy where she did belong. If you think this is dirty, well, you're fucking well wrong. There wasn't.
Oh my word.
That's the best.
That's a good way of starting the show instead of my usual way.
Yeah, I think from now on that should be the intro.
Absolutely.
Just Bob Saget's incoming card.
All right, so Bob Saget, I'm still in disbelief about him being dead.
I think that's the one we're never gonna get over, Willow. I really do. It was like losing my father. I mean, not actually like that, but I felt a massive pain. Like I was saying, I was inside of Walt Disney World. I was in Magic Kingdom, the happiest place on earth. And I get this text sent to me, and I'm like, nah. I went to go Google it, and I'm like, oh, it was just a shot to the heart. And I was in the store, and the lady is like, are you okay? Do you need first aid attention? I'm like, I'm okay, but did you see this? And I held up the article. Oh,
yeah.
Look at that face.
He always had a smile on his face, no matter what. He can be pissed off, and he can still.
Oh, that's my picture.
I love that picture because it shows that even though he's the celebrity, he wants to remember everything that happens around him.
That entire show, that panel at Mega, that's all he wanted to do. They were taking videos, they were taking audience purchase. It was so involved, and he was such a kind soul. I mean, obviously, he is a dirty, dirty, dirty comedian. If you ever watch a stand-up, you're like, Danny Tanner curses, what? But that panel, I sat there, I was with a couple of my friends, and we sat there just, guffawed, jaw on the ground, and the relationship between John Stamos, Dave Coulier, and Bob Saget, that was a true brotherhood. Yeah. And it was so genuine to see and to interact. And I talked to Nadia, one of my friends that was there. I immediately messaged them, and I said, oh my God, what do we do? Nadia had a full blown episode, freaked out. I'm like, she's like, but we just saw him. I said, so you appreciate that even more. You have to, because there are so many people that would never have had that opportunity. I think that was truly the first Full House, guys reunion, and obviously now the last.
That breaks my heart because,
I can tell you're getting all choked up.
I am still in shock, and I know that they're things keep popping up. Oh, they've announced how he died and all that, and it's no. And then you read it, and then it's it tells you nothing.
Oh, and it happened here in Orlando, so it's a freaking media frenzy. Oh yeah, there were 25 cop cars zooming down the road. And of course, because it's a high profile client, they have to immediately state that it is investigating for homicide, which they've determined it's not. But have you read, I won't even bring it up, but have you read the full details of how he was found?
Yeah, he was found with his right hand over his chest, which, usually, isn't it? If you have a heart attack, isn't it the left?
It's the left arm is the one that has the pain, and you grab your chest. Yeah. Not to speculate, but they said everything was in order in his room. The lights were off. It's, he's got kids. He's got a wife. I can't imagine. The Ritz-Carlton had to call their attorneys to make sure it was okay to contact them.
Okay, he was married once before, and he always states how much he still loves his ex.
Yes. Yeah.
And how great she is.
Yeah.
It's like, Christopher Titus does a whole routine on how horrible his ex is.
Yes, of course.
But Bob Saget is, no. My ex-wife is a beautiful, wonderful woman. And it's just like, you don't hear that from many comedians.
No, and I mean, there's that comedian's curse where a comedian is so busy giving everything to the audience and to their fans that it drains them, and they're some of the saddest people in the world. And I do know some pretty high-profile comedians, and it's true. But Bob Saget had a way to not make you really think about that. He didn't pull back in. He was very active on social. Did I send you the article yesterday about all of the celebrity postings on social media?
Yes, I think you have.
So, like Dane Cook was like, oh yeah, like I'm listening to the voice. They were leaving voicemails back and forth to each other all week, just being funny. And like every single person was like, he was the greatest person you'll ever meet. What's her name? The girl who played Kimmy, something Barker. I can't think.
Oh, okay.
Andrea Barker. She posted on her social that it didn't matter. Like, it stuck with me. It was like, it didn't matter how long it was between times that you saw. He always ended every conversation with, I love you. And, he always gave the best hugs. And, he was truly that person. Yeah. And that seemed to emulate throughout everybody. And I'm like, that's 100% right. Like, we have lost a true gem. And
Jody Sweden said he wrote a huge article about
I didn't see hers
on her Instagram, and it's like, it's not one sentence, it's like 5 paragraphs.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look this up. Yeah.
And she says, there aren't enough words to express what I'm feeling today, nor are they big enough to capture even a slice of who he was. One thing I do know is that we never missed a chance to tell each other, I love you. Yeah. So yeah,
it's you kind of go speechless. Yes. Oh, look, we have some of our family members joining us. Hi, everybody. Yes. Hi, Ryan. Thank you. Yes. Hanging over the web in the house. You guys will see random posts. Yes. Hi, Carl. But it just kind of blows my mind, somebody that can make that kind of impact. And he's not the only celebrity we've lost.
Yeah.
I mean, they always say it comes in threes. And we have Sidney Poitier. I mean, Ghost Dad, hello, absolute classic. That was my favorite. And freaking Betty White! Come on!
Hey, I think someone from Hanging with Webb is trying to join in.
That sounds like trouble.
So,
we'll just patiently wait. Should we play the Jeopardy music? Do, do, do. Oh, no.
I'll wait till there's more on screen.
Apparently, Garrett's checking in with us. Yeah, Ryan, we have lost too many stars in the recent years. Willow kept sending me these great TikToks, and it's true. I mean, and I'll be that person. We've lost so many people. Personally, I've had like 8 deaths in the last 2 years of close people, and not just COVID related stuff. But we've had heroes, and we've had this, and people go, oh, it's just a celebrity death. Who cares? And I'm going, but there are people who associate.
I was raised by television. So
I made a post on Facebook. Like, I felt like I was losing my dad, and probably about 5 or 6 other friends all had the same exact post. Like, that was America's dad, but that was my dad. I didn't have a father figure or whatever. And yes, Brian, all we have is each other. Stick together. That's right.
I had many father figures, and losing, the dad from, well, I'm having a giant brain fart. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. You've been on fog all day. You're allowed to.
John Pica wants to join us, so I'm going to turn off this background.
That's
Hello.
Hi,
Johnny. How's it going?
It's going well. Who do we have here?
This is Heather.
Hi, Heather.
Hi.
I'm Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
He's the host of Back with the Cereal Box.
Yes, I know.
Have we met before, Heather?
I've heard of your trouble. Maybe, possibly. Maybe in your nightmares. Look at that face. Oh, pinky is up. All right. So what do you think about all of these celebrity deaths?
It's a circle of life, and it moves us all.
Beautiful. Are you done? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but it's interesting because grief brings us together. I have worked in the community. I was the volunteer site supervisor after Pulse here in Orlando. I facilitated like 400 volunteers and all sorts of crazy stuff. But there is a group of people that can immediately call each other, doesn't matter what it is, and you're there. And I think even though it's a celebrity's death, it's that fan base. And we were talking about Anne Rice.
Yes. Anne Rice passing away was also a huge shock to our system because, she was the one who brought in, she didn't start the vampire fandom, but she helped it along very, very nicely, though.
Really sexy men as vampires for him. Yes. Well, but it was the day before my birthday, and my best friend was like, I didn't want to let you know that was a thing. Yeah. Oh, Ryan, I am not a star. I am just a twinkle. But thank you. But
wait, I didn't see what that comment said.
Oh, sorry.
Willow, you got to keep them up longer. No, nobody knows who I am, Ryan. You know who I am. But that's it. Just our close little family.
Oh,
nothing but a thing.
I want to apologize. I didn't say hi to Donna earlier, so I apologize, Donna.
And Donna.
But yeah, I mean, everybody has a different niche, and it's like, can you stop picking on people for crying over a celebrity death or being upset?
When Stan Lee passed away years ago,
oh my God,
too, that I'm still like, okay, Robin Williams. I don't think the world has healed from Robin Williams.
I don't think it ever will.
But to lose someone like Stan Lee as well, just like our hearts are torn apart as enough as it is.
But we get to see him in every Marvel movie, and we can still visit, Uncle Stan.
And then, and then we're losing like our father figures from television. Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
From the Fresh Prince.
Which, by the way, did you know they're doing a reboot of the Fresh Prince?
I don't agree with that, but whatever.
I don't either.
Will Smith,
no, it's not a reboot because it's not a comedy. It's a drama.
It's a dark, gritty drama.
Yeah, and it's produced by Will Smith. Will Smith
is it continuing on like the saga of
no, it's
life,
retelling it's retelling the story from a completely different point of view.
Interesting.
It actually looks really good, and for a reboot or a remake, I think it looks very worthwhile.
A retelling, perhaps.
Yes, a retelling. I'm going to give it a chance because it looks worthwhile.
Oh yeah. Okay. I never want to turn something down. It's just like, can you stop remaking my childhood, please? Can you stop trying to replace things in my childhood? Like, let it go.
Well, you know what that is? Here's what it is. And Peter Jackson, when he redid King Kong, he was interviewed about this because it's like the fourth or fifth remake of King Kong.
Right.
And he said, well, I'm remaking it because I love it. I grew up watching the original, fantasizing about being able to make that kind of movie and to retell that story in my own way. And that's what we're seeing a lot. These creators who are my age, who came of age watching this classic stuff that from our childhood, but wanting to play in that sandbox. I would love to make a Star Wars movie. I would love to play in that sandbox. And that's what it's all about, is these creators who have come of age now are wanting to put their own stamp on the things they love.
Right.
Unfortunately, too many studio suits get in the way.
Absolutely. It's not a passion project anymore. It becomes nickel and dimed.
Yes.
But yeah, it's fascinating because you have people who are like, I don't watch TV. I don't do this. And I'm like, cool, but like, don't pick on me because I want to sit and binge. Before signing on, I was watching the final chapter of This Is Us. Heartbreaking in itself, but you develop, you see yourself in characters. As Carl was saying, we identify with them. We see ourselves, and then we kind of grasp onto it, and we see their growth. Like going back to Full House, I was just about the same age that Jodie Sweetin was as Stephanie Tanner, and so every time I saw something like, yeah, whatever, Candace Cameron, and DJ, but I grew up. That was my family, and I related to so many things. I remember I was huge. Still, I'm a huge Full House fan. I've watched all the Fuller Houses. Don't judge. But like she went to her first boy-girl party, and that's when Bob Saget lost his voice, and she called freaking out, thinking it was DJ. And Bob Saget had the high-pitched voice and went over to the party, and I'm going, I remember that point in my life, and that was just it synced up almost identically. So I think that's why it hit so hard. But I mean, I'm back to Sidney Poitier, classically trained Caribbean African American. Like, holy cow, is he talented? But he kind of got skipped over because we ended the year with Betty White, and then this whole thing with Bob Saget happened. It's like there are so many other people that are no longer here. Yeah, I think it's important to remember them all.
And Sidney Poitier being the important man of for the Black culture, like being the first Black actor to win an Oscar, that is spectacular on its own. And
but not just the Black culture, Willow, culture period. I mean, he in Hollywood broke down the same kind of barriers that Jackie Robinson broke down. You got to remember, in the movie Coming to Dinner, Look Who's Coming to Dinner, that was the first ever interracial couple on film. Yep. It was scandalous. Today, we're like, okay, why is this a big deal? Back then, it was scandalous, and it was pushing the boundaries of what was culturally acceptable. And what a huge contribution that is.
Absolutely.
To all of us.
And look at it. I mean, if Ryan's still paying attention, I'm sure he is. Star Trek. Look at the first, male, female. That interracial kiss was controversy central, and it's still being talked about. But I think that's what's important, is that we want to keep the conversation going. The impact of what something happened. Yes, you can call us silly because a celebrity that we like died. It's still somebody's life. They still have family. They still have a fan base that's their escape. That's their, they interviewed a local couple here in Orlando who had, on a whim, went to go see Bob Saget perform Friday night at the Hard Rock. On a whim. Like, oh, Bob Saget's in town, let's go. And they were like, usually, comedian does a full hour, they're done. He went another 45 minutes and paid like 10 grand in fines just to perform, just so they could continue it. But people, you're looking for an escape. With all this COVID crap, we want to go out. We want to be safe. We're going to find an environment, but we need that escape. And the comedians, what did they say in the article? He referred to comedy as the fourth line, like the fourth responder. And it's the comedian, like the comic industry is now pretty much feeling like it's their turn, that they have to come in and lift the spirits of everybody. So everybody can just calm the hell down and stop picking on everybody else.
Have you seen The Prom?
Oh yeah.
That song that
Nicole Kidman? Nicole Kidman?
No, the teacher that he sings about why we need entertainers. Why can I never remember his name? Key or Peele. One of those
Yeah,
two guys.
yeah.
I can never. I feel so guilty. I'm
going on IMDb because we're an instant gratification society, and I don't remember because my brain doesn't want to work.
By the way, he's brilliant also in Schmigadoon. If you haven't seen Schmigadoon, you must do that now.
I'll definitely have to look that up.
Let's see. It's like Keenan Ivory Huel. Yeah, Keegan Michael Key. Yes, we were totally right.
Yeah. But you remember he sings that song to Meryl Streep's character about why entertainers are so important and why we as a society need the stories that they tell. And that was an eye-opening moment for me because those of you who don't know, I've spent 30 years as a professional entertainer on stage. And last year, after I survived COVID, I decided to quit. I was like, I'm done entertaining complete strangers at the expense of relationships with family and friends.
Yeah.
But what I found out was I was reminded by another story from my past that role as the storyteller, as the entertainer, is pretty important. And that song is the one that did it. And it started to kind of soften my heart about my attitude. And earlier this year.
You have a heart, Johnny? I've heard different.
Yeah, and you will hear that from a lot of people that it's not true. But but yeah, so yeah, entertainers and actors and actresses, artists and writers, they're important to the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Earth without art is just eh.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna use that from now on. And I'm gonna piggyback on what you're saying, and Willow, I'm sure you'll agree. And after having a great conversation with the Hanging with Web group today, let's take another step further. Podcasts. People need us. People need this. It's an escape. You're at work, you don't have anything to do, or you're like, oh my God, I am gonna zone out of this meeting, or I'm having a bad day. Yes, TV is back in production. You can DVR that. This is live. This is life. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to pop in, what we're going to talk about. And you have to keep it going.
Yeah.
And it's tiring. Yes.
And this is a great way. Yes. This is my way to break up the monotony of the week, of the work week. And because if something happens, it's like, who do I talk to? I'll see if, a couple of my friends want to chat about this, It's some big news
like
break.
Going and getting a drink with friends, but you're in Canada. I can't exactly just. I wish I could.
Yeah. Big news breaks, and I talk to my husband all the time, and it's like, and I asked Joe, I'm like, why don't we start a podcast? Because some of our conversations we'll be up. Well, we're supposed to go to bed at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
You have a bedtime?
Well, because we both got up pretty early, but I'm usually up with him at 4 a.m. or
you also can drink coffee all day long too if you really wanted to, so you're fine.
4 a.m. God's not even up that early.
I mean, I go to sleep at 4 a.m. most nights. I'm a bit of a vampire. I call it vampire time. I do.
I'm doing email at 4 a.m.
Why?
I'm sure Willow has gotten some of my 4 a.m. messages.
Oh, I think so, but I think you guys also have seen my post at 4 or 5 a.m.
See, that's the general rule, though, is if you see someone post on Facebook, you can message them crazy hours. That's my rule. If you just posted something, I'm going to send you something. And it's literally going to be, you up?
I'll post the weirdest, most in-depth, I'm in deep thought. I want to talk about something, and people are like, it's too early to think about this. It's like, not for me.
Now, do you guys find, I have friends that reach out for different things. I have a really wonderful friend. He gets very stressed out. He took the Betty White thing very hard. Huge Golden Girls fan. Huge. And I got messages 3 a.m. He's like, can you chat? And it's a video chat. And I'm okay with that because I know he needs that.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I had my circle of people that I had to send about the Bob Saget thing. Like I knew those were the people that had to hear it, had to know about it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's interesting that you have different groups of people for different groups of things.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to like, I was just messaging the one like Carl and Brian, their group earlier, and it's like, I need a name for a podcast now. Go. You know? Because they're all writers, so it's
well, yeah. So I mean, we could probably ask viewers and Johnny, I guess, if Johnny wants. So does Johnny know? Did you tell him?
Well, I think we should just go ahead and break the silence on that. Heather and I want to start a podcast.
Not even that we want to. We are.
We're going to. We just can't figure it out.
Well, we know what we want to do, but we probably in the last 36 hours have come up with about 78 names.
Well, that's good.
No, because none of them are working.
What's the podcast about?
Pretty much what we're doing now. It's
a catch-all. We're gonna start talking about pop culture, covering different Comic-Cons, covering different live events, theme park stuff going on here in Orlando, pop culture, serious topics. You know, literally nothing's off the table except I don't think we want to talk politics or religion.
Yeah, and I'm because Winnipeg's in pretty much going into another lockdown.
You're going to be living vicariously through me.
Pretty much. So I'm her producer.
Well, I will
We're
be
producing each other at this point.
I will be broadcasting live from a Comic-Con this Saturday. Me and DBarty at Chattacon.
Oh, nice plug there, Johnny.
See what I did there?
Are you going to have to go pick her up though? Because
no.
Make sure that she actually shows up.
Well, so she's driving down the night before.
Okay.
Because I'm getting up at 4 a.m. to pick up my other crew member, Eli. You've seen Eli Cash commenting on shows. I have to pick him up at 5 because we've got to be in Chattanooga for the taping by 10 to set up to go live at 11 in front of our. So
you're saying you have to wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
4 a.m.
And DBarty is like, nope, I'm not doing that. I will drive down the night before, get a hotel, and spend the night. And you might be wondering, well, Johnny, why don't you do that? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. I have an answer. It's because that night I have a date with a ghost named Mary. And I will be telling ghost stories all throughout Nashville Friday night. And I don't get done until usually around 11 o'clock. And
I'm going to start looking at flights to Nashville right now.
I just found out, Willow, that I am in the top 10 highest reviewed tour guides in the country. Just this morning, the rankings
that's pretty
came
awesome.
out.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
And I'm the only guy. All the rest of them are girls.
And have you worked
Is that
with all
something
of them?
to be proud of?
I've trained a couple of them.
Oh, okay.
I've been there before. It's like, you do such a great job training everyone, and then they start getting accolades, and you're like, that's all me.
Becomes the
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh, wow.
Yes, apparently one day we will get you to our great Southland. I know I've been trying to get you down here.
Yes, I joke, but Joe and I have pretty much have the same same. We both pretty much should live in the States by now.
Willow, we will welcome you. We will welcome you with open arms and big hugs. You see the green armband? You know what this means?
Yes. It means you're good for hugs.
And 2 of them means all the hugs.
All the hugs.
So
nice.
So Willow, America will embrace you with loving arms. And we have something here called freedom. So you should come You should
Except
come
in Canada,
and
they have something called free healthcare, but we won't get there.
Well, okay, technically in Canada, it's not really free. We
Their
just
tax
pay a lot
dollars
of
pay for it.
taxes.
Okay, in Canada, they have real poutine. Better?
Sure.
I think some of my Wisconsin and
depends on the
Michigan
place.
friends will argue with you about that.
I'm just going to stop. I've only been to Halifax, and I have friends in Toronto.
Gravy has to be really hot in order to melt the cheese. That's how I feel about it.
Yes, fair. The closest I can get to good Canadian poutine right now is at Disney Springs. They have a poutine, like, quick service.
Made with mozzarella or the...
No, they do cheese curds and brown gravy. Okay. But they also do pepperoni pizza poutine and cheeseburger poutine. And like a month or two ago, they had like Korean pork poutine.
So
it's not the same.
So here's a recipe. You got to try this.
I'm scared.
Big baked potato, all the butter. Just butter.
Like Pauline butter. Okay.
Yeah, and then taco meat covered in cheese whiz or cheese sauce.
Okay.
Cheese whiz is better. And
always whiz wit. Come on, man.
And then topped with flaming hot Cheetos.
Ooh,
that sounds interesting, but my acid reflux is screaming already.
No. I'm telling you, it is a religious experience.
I'm sure it is. All the way to the toilet.
That's the name. That's the name of your podcast. A religious experience.
Wait, I was typing. What was I typing to earlier, Willow? And I was like, I don't know why, but my phone just changed the word to church. He's like, and I was like, wouldn't that be something? Good little Jewish girl hosting a podcast called something. Oh yes, Willow does make us legit that we have a Canadian to support. Mm-hmm. You're a token Canadian, but your head doesn't do this. I
don't get that joke. Wait.
What? Have you not watched South Park ever?
You know what? Okay, so
dude,
confession to make. I've seen a few snippets. Not a fan. I'm not a fan of South Park. So.
I was in that teenagey, my dad and I would go to Wednesday wing night at Beef O'Brady's a billion years ago, and the big scream, they would start playing South Park. We'd leave because we lived right across the street. We would leave during a commercial, go home and watch the rest of it. It's crazy, but the Canadians, their heads are like Pac-Man.
It's amazing how popular, how long that show has been going on. And
longer than The Simpsons.
Are you sure about that?
Well,
no.
I take that back.
The Simpsons have been going along.
Ullman. They're running as long as The Simpsons if they weren't Tracy Ullman. I've rehearsed what I've seen.
The Simpsons came out when
Tracy
I was
Ullman
a senior in high school.
I'm Googling the year. This is what Google is for.
It's 1989.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive.
Because, they started on the Tracy Ullman show.
Right. But so 1989 is when the series started. When was the Tracy Ullman show?
That was 87. I was a huge fan of Tracy Ullman.
I love that show. See, I was a wee tyke. Yep, the first episode of The Simpsons aired April 19th, 1987.
Matt Groening actually spent a lot of his time up in Canada.
Oh.
His father is actually from Winnipeg.
Oh.
He apparently spent a lot of time in the future.
Yeah. Let me tell you, how freaky is that?
It is, in my mind, absolute positive proof that time travel is real. There's no other explanation for it. The dude predicted 10 years before it happened, Donald Trump announcing his presidency coming down an escalator.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
there was a new one, too. Something with Lisa. I'll have to see if I can find it. It was one that popped up a couple of days ago. And I'm like, that's insane. It was Lisa, older, adult Lisa. I'll have to look it up.
He's a time traveler.
Yes.
Period.
Any else, did you know that Homer Simpson's ear and his hairline is MG from Matt Groening?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. If you look at the side, when you see Homer in profile, it's an M and a G.
Dope.
Oh, you learn new things all the time.
You know what I love about The Simpsons is that it doesn't matter if it's the first episode or the latest episode. You can just sit down and watch it and enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't have to know anything about it before or after.
Well, and the references to it. So, have you been to Universal Studios to the Simpsons ride?
No.
I have not.
Okay. So it's literally like the entrance to Krusty Land. And it has like the big clown mouth and like all sorts of stuff. And they have like carnival rides or carnival games outside. And they have the teenagers. I mean, they have just regular actual employees running it. But they bring you in and it used to be a T-bar. It was where Back to the Future was. And it's very bumpy and you go through this whole thing and it's insane. But it's like a good classic experience. There's another local theme park here that's not Disney that affectionately I call Krusty Land because it's a bunch of kids that don't care. They have that same exact attitude. It's the same exact style of hospitality. But I can refer that and I can say, hey, Willow, so-and-so park is just like Krusty Land. And she'll know exactly what I mean because that puts that instant image in your head. And it's that iconic sort of fandom that I think really kind of keeps us going.
And much like, The Simpsons has like catchy tunes that you'll always remember.
Yeah.
And like the bad earworm that it comes into my head every now and then is, you know, the song from when Homer went into like the Candyland world.
I will see if I can play you affectionately my earworm. Hold on. Let's
that and the Duff Beer song.
Oh yeah.
On a regular basis, there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't sing Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does.
But then there's this one.
Itchy and Scratchy theme.
The Itchy and Scratchy. But it's that. Like, that's so, to me, like, if someone's fighting back,
yeah,
that's what it is. It's insane. It's insane. But go ahead.
No,
you go, Willow. You go.
No. I'm. You know, it's funny how many of these Russian Russian bobs keep popping out. I'm gonna have to create.
What?
It's like it's either Twitch that pops up. It's like, do you want to become famous? And it's like, no,
yeah. So we had those for the first time this last Saturday, and I was like, it took me off guard when I saw those in the comments. But then, you know, look. When Russian bots are trying to take you down, you've made it. You're someone.
Mean, I might know them. I'm 100% Russian. They might be my family members. Just trying to say hi.
Where is your family from, Heather?
Odessa, the Black Sea.
That's where my family's from.
Stop. Are we related?
It's possible. Oh my God, this is.
We're gonna do a blood test live on our show one of these days.
Now your family is Jewish.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine were too until they converted to Catholicism when they went into Poland. But
okay.
Yeah.
Now we came over. This is fun fact Heather history. We came over. My mom's side were the Lukowskis, and my father's side were the Rodinskis. I am very, very Russian. I even did like the Ancestry.com thing a couple of years ago because I wanted to have something else to be like, I'm Eastern European mutt. And it's like 100% Eastern Jew. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. My entire family is from Odessa. Like, that's it. Like, and for a brief moment, I was 0.1% Irish. So that was cool.
When did your family leave Odessa? Was it like 1912, 13, 14 in that range?
I will tell you, I'll have to count back generations. So myself and my mother and my grandmother were born in the States.
Okay.
And then the rest of my family came through Ellis Island. So.
See, I'm first generation American.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. My dad was born on the boat.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. My great grandmother, her husband, obviously my great grandfather, he came over and then he sent for her and the children to come over. But yeah, we had, so fun family fact history. We had a very famous Russian general, General Zhukov. And why am I talking about my family history? This is fun. And
we want to know everything about you.
he is the man that is known for killing Hitler, even though Hitler died of something else. But very heavily involved in like all sorts of crazy stuff. My cousin Hera actually wrote a book called My Cousin Killed Hitler. Fun, right? So.
Well, I have a very famous uncle.
Oh, who's your uncle?
Roman Polanski.
Oh boy,
wow.
That's a very famous uncle. Wow.
Wow.
And how is Uncle Roman?
I've never met him.
How like your dad's brother?
I don't know who's. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Poland. He's an uncle.
Okay.
Interesting.
Huh. That's fun. Yeah, I'm not that cool. What about you, Willow? Any famous relatives?
No. My family's from the Ukraine, so.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
awesome.
there you go.
Actually, my best friend Mel, her whole family's from the Ukraine. Could not tell you where. Famous and infamous. Oh yeah, I like that, Carl. Famous and infamous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like my great grandparents got married, and pretty much like right, basically right after they got married, they hopped on the closest ship and came to well, they were in Ellis Island. You think that they would have gone south?
You would hope that they would,
but they were promised abundant land and yeah, great
frozen
farm.
tundra. I mean, Canada's frozen tundra is a lot like Siberia's frozen tundra. I mean, it's like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Where you like staked out your land, like people like rode to lands and like staked it out, and then you had a certain acreage around it. Because I know they did that during the California Gold Rush, but I thought they did that in Canada too.
I think it was just they were taken by the promise of great soil. And
how's the soil?
Great. You know what? My grandparents sold their farm back in the 70s, and so
what were they growing in the 70s, Willow?
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea if they, I have no idea what animals they had. I don't remember them talking about cows, or I know they said they had chickens, but I'm honestly have no freaking clue what they did.
Yes, Johnny.
Speaking of land rushes,
the
movie Far From Home,
great movie,
is amazing.
Movie. Yes. What made you think of that?
Well, because it's about the Oklahoma land rush.
Fair, sure.
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Oh yeah.
Before
go ahead. Before she went crazy. Yeah.
Don't talk about a Nashville treasure like Nicole Kidman.
I'm sorry, Moulin Rouge is one of my favorite movies. I kind of have to love her.
She was great in The Prom too.
She was great. She's been great in everything. The Others was a great movie.
Yeah. Moulin Rouge is one of my all-time favorite movies.
I got to see it on Broadway.
I don't know if
I'm not a fan.
I couldn't really get into that movie.
Dude, young Ewan McGregor? Seriously? Freaking Obi-Wan?
Come what may.
Okay, I think if it being a musical,
hills are alive with the sound of music.
Oh, okay.
John Leguizamo.
Oh yeah.
And the guy. Roxanne, you don't have to turn on the red light.
I'm trying to find you a picture, Willow, so you can see how,
Hey,
how bad of a mistake you just made.
I love the costumes in Moulin Rouge. I love kind of like the history behind it, but having new age music with that kind of
okay. So don't ever go see the Broadway show because they changed. Well, no, it was gorgeous. I had can seats, which means so there's no band, there's no orchestra for the show. They have it running off of like a sound book. And they even played around with even newer music than when that movie came out.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with the Broadway.
Did you see it?
I've heard the music. I've not gone to see it live. I was ready to go see it right before COVID shutdowns.
Okay,
but
there you go. There you go, fam. Right there. That's the real one.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I was obsessed. Okay, but I also saw naked people dancing there with my mother. Not what I expected. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
I went to a production of Cabaret at this little dinner theater that I used to work at here in Nashville. They've closed, but it was a very little.
Was that like when Neil Patrick Harris was?
No.
Oh. No, he was in New York. This is in Nashville.
This is in Nashville, but it was a professional theater company that I worked with. Chaffin's Barn Dinner Theater, but the stage was 20 by 20. It was in the round. Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. For a dinner show, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And so, which I love theater in the round. I love performing in the round.
I could never tell, but you like to perform.
Yeah. But there's this one scene where, all the girls are just wearing underwear and I'm there with my wife. We're sitting right along the rail and these girls put their butts right up in our face and it was a little bit uncomfortable. Not for me.
Oh, okay. I mean, it is theater.
Yeah.
That's like when, if anyone ever went to the Winter Garden Theater and went to go see Cats, they would climb over the seats on the audience members. Oh,
listen, I have one of the best stories about Cats. So I've seen it 3 times at the Winter Garden Theater.
You're a lucky, lucky man.
But the second time I saw it, I had horrible seats up in the balcony, last row, partially obstructed by the giant teacup.
No, why? Why would you do that?
Well, because they were like $10.
So they were rush tickets. Okay.
Yeah. So, but one of the entrances into the balcony was right behind me. And I could hear the performers behind the curtain talking while they were waiting for their entrance.
Love that.
And the one guy was like, "Did you see that mistake I made?" And the other one was like, "Honey, everybody saw that mistake you made." It was fantastic.
It is a weird dream of mine. So I have a lot of friends that perform on Broadway. And it's still a dream of mine to go backstage at a Broadway show because by trade, I'm a stage manager, producer, and director. But I've never been backstage. I've only been from the audience and I've seen the theaters empty. And I have friends that are like, "Oh, next time you come. And I'm used to being in New York 6 times a year and seeing shows. I haven't been in 2 years. And I'm like, I was supposed to go and I was supposed to do and I was supposed to see. So I've got the theater bug again. And Johnny, if you're a performer, you get it. I'm like,
I do.
Yeah.
After being off for a year and only doing podcasting and writing and art, when I did take a gig, I produced my own show called Haunted Magic.
Nice. Okay, you've got my attention.
So 14 nights. Okay. In 14 nights, I did 56 shows.
Holy cow!
Oh wow!
Hour-long shows. And
was there actually magic involved?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a former champion magician.
So you probably know 90% of my friendship circle.
Probably. I actually produced my own original magical musical called Swingin' at the Roxy off Broadway.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I produced this show for this venue and I did it really only for the money. But
No.
by the end, I was like, ooh, I think I need to be doing this again full time. So now, Willow, I've not even really talked about this, but for those of you who don't know me, I've got a podcast on Saturday mornings called Back of the Cereal Box, where we talk about pop culture, Avengers comics, Star Wars movies, in our pajamas, eating big bowls of cereal, like the virtual rec room, Saturday morning after the Friday night sleepover. And I've developed a theatrical version, one-man show theatrical version of that. That
why have you not submitted this to any fringe festival in the country?
Well, it's only in an outline form. I created it 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And so I probably will start submitting it to fringe festivals, but I am going to take it to New York first.
Yes, do it.
Yeah. I've got a friend at the Producers Club Theater, and so.
Just if you need a roadie.
I do. I always need a roadie.
I'm
just
down.
giving you a heads up that Winnipeg does have a huge theater. Like we love our theater.
Do you know that Nashville does not have a fringe theater festival?
And Orlando has the largest one.
Oh.
We used to have a fringe festival that was very short-lived. Maybe 3 years, 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, there are virtual fringes, like there's DigiFringe that are happening. They're still taking submissions, but Winnipeg. My buddy Keith Brown, he's a magician. He's like won like a lot of awards at that festival, a lot. He almost died. He was doing the Donnie, you're a magician or illusionist, whatever you care to call yourself. He did the needle trick, the needle and thread trick.
Yeah.
Where you pretty much like swallow a bunch of like sewing needles.
I do it with razor blades. And I almost choked on a razor blade. I was this close. And my crew standing off to the side of the stage, I looked at them with this look on my face.
Oh my God.
And they knew.
Oh shit. So what did you do?
God.
I muscled through it, and I survived. That's what I did.
So you swallow a bunch of needles and you like thread them or whatever. And you go to pull them out, and they're all on the string. His punctured his stomach lining. And I'm sorry, am I making you puke? Are you okay? Okay.
Sneezing, sorry.
You look, because I'm high. You look very ill for a moment. But like part of a show is he'll actually show like the X-ray or like the CAT scan or whatever it is that shows it. I'm like, you're crazy. He's like, and I still do the trick. Why would you do that?
So that was an accident. I would love to see his performance of that, because that would be interesting. Now I've since traded out the razor blades for Fruit Loops.
I think that's
I've seen you do that. That is awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
and it kind of goes along with your show.
Exactly. But I almost died another time.
Did you not die?
Doing an underwater chain escape.
Oh.
So I was wrapped up, chained with 80 pounds of chains, dropped in the deep end of a pool, and I had to escape.
Oh.
And I'd practiced it. I'd practiced the escape. I could get out of the chains in 30 seconds. In the pool, I could hold my breath for about a minute and a half. No problem. Except I hit the water, and instead of going straight down, I went upside down.
Oh, no, that's even worse.
And I lost my bearings. I had no idea where I was, and all of the air rushed out of my lungs.
Now, were you doing the final trick? Were you actually doing it in the pool, or you were in another body of water? Oh, okay.
Oh, no. I'm in a pool in front of a live audience. And yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm finding that those tricks don't go very well. Dean Gunnarsson had the same issue here.
Yeah, Dean's a friend of mine, and he's come perilously close.
Have you ever heard of 20 Penny Circus?
Yeah.
I briefly dated Carl, and they do Willow Free. If you're not familiar, they were like Ripley's Believe It or Not's like official magicians.
Oh, okay.
they would like hammer nails up their nose, or like be naked and like have a bowling ball on a chain and like
attach it to their scrotum.
Yes.
Yeah.
All sorts of crazy stuff. Like nail guns being held to the temple and playing like Russian roulette.
Oh my God.
See,
I will send you like, yeah, go ahead, Johnny. Sorry.
I do some of that. I do a piece where I put my hand in a wolf trap because when I feel extreme pain, I become psychic.
Sorry, what is a wolf trap? Is it not a bear trap?
No.
I live in Florida.
It's a little bit smaller than a bear trap. It's an Alaskan wolf trap. It's not as big as a bear trap, but it exerts 600 pounds of pressure per square inch.
And you become psychic when it hurts you?
Yeah. I can read people's minds. And then I do a needle through the arm.
You read my mind right now?
No, because I'm not in extreme pain. But I can probably guess that you're thinking, Johnny, you're the most insane person I've ever met.
No, you're not the most insane person. I'm highly enthused that we're now friends. Insanity is fun. It's no fun being normal.
No.
At all. Like when someone's like, "You're so weird," I'm like, "Thank you. That's fine." Like, you're not offending me. We are the weirdos, mister. Like, come on.
Yep. I know, like, it's funny. There was one woman that I got into an argument with a while back, and she's like, "Can you stop calling people nerds?" It's like, I am one.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Now, here's a fun question. Do you prefer nerd, geek, or dork?
I'm all three.
All right. So I don't like any of them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't like labels. I hate labels.
Okay.
I don't even wear clothes with labels. I do wear a New York sweatshirt, but
Captain America. Yeah. Game over. That's Nintendo. I can pick you apart right now.
Yeah. Well, yes, but nothing says Nintendo.
It's in the lettering, but I understand.
I mean, it's got Rubik's cubes and others, cool. But I don't wear things that have somebody's name or like Jordache or
no, they've got to pay me to wear for advertising for them. Hell no.
Yeah. So I am my own brand. Okay. And where was I going? Oh, so I hate labels.
Okay.
And when I was a kid, those labels were very detrimental. I mean, they were not. Yeah. They were not. There was no positivity. And so I maybe I'm a little bit scarred from that. From my youth.
You want to talk about scarred from your youth? My last name is Bador. Kids used to call me Big Dork, Be a Dork. Oh yeah, and then this kid that I've known since second grade, Joshua Sunshine. I'll call his ass out. I don't talk to him. He sucks. He literally ruined the Iron Man song for me because we had marine biology together, senior year of high school, and he would sing Heather Be a Dork, and then like would continue rhyming things with my last name that were not very appropriate for females to be called in high school. Yeah, and I can still sing it to this day, and it's hurt. It hurts.
Oh.
But I've gotten over the nerdy. It's become more mainstream. Nerd is fine. Geek is like.
See, in my world, as a magician, a geek is a sideshow performer.
Oh yeah. Well, and a dork is something from the 50s. So
yeah,
or a whale's dick, but
yeah, that's right. So I can if I accept any of them, I can accept geek because I do geek magic. So I have been a circus geek, a carnival sideshow geek. So I love it. I can deal with that.
Ooh, Willow, that's a good name for our podcast, The Sideshow.
That works. Yeah.
That kind of works. We were coming up with all sorts of things, Johnny, and one of them was I was like, not my circus, but now I'm really kind of really enjoying the sideshow. look at
that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely look into that but I think
somebody already
there might be a horror podcast with that.
A horror podcast?
You gotta be careful how you say that, Willow.
Horror.
And you know what? Who cares? Because here's the thing. I've been podcasting since 2005. And here's the one thing most people don't know. 99% of podcasts don't make it past their 6th episode. There are
jinx us.
There are over 2 million active podcasts on Apple Podcasts right now. Well, 2 million podcasts, but only 80, like 89% of them have not posted a new episode in over 2 weeks.
Okay.
Huh.
Pod fade is real. So even if there is a podcast called The Sideshow, chances are they don't exist anymore.
It's the best and worst in music to make your ears bleed.
Oh, okay.
And when was their last episode published?
October 5th, 2018. Potluck.
There you go.
Okay.
We'll just have to check in with mom and dad and make sure they're okay with it. But I know we're start wrap. My tummy's growling. I'm going to my friend's food truck.
Okay, yeah, it's been an hour, so
yeah. I'm not clock watching. I was like, my stomach apparently knows. Like I have to go to my friend. Dude, they make Korean corn dogs. Have you ever had one?
No.
Oh, look at the face.
Oh my god,
Johnny, you want to see a picture?
I love corn dogs.
No, but they're Korean corn dogs. Let me see if I can pull up a picture really quick. Hold on. I don't have access to StreamYard right now, but I do have access to photos on my phone.
I'm not ashamed, but I love the corn dogs at 7-Eleven.
Then you would be in love with these. That's one. Okay, wait.
Oh my god, they look so good.
You want to talk about hot Cheetos, Johnny? And it's covered in cheese. Look at the cheese bowl.
All right, I think we all need to go eat now.
I'm gonna go eat now. Johnny, I think he froze.
You know what? It's funny because Johnny's not afraid to. Yeah, this is my dinner tonight. So
what is that? Is that pesto
penne? Spinach, mushroom.
Ooh, that sounds
and
good.
Where's mine? You didn't magically send us any? That was rude, Willow.
See, I went super healthy tonight. I made salmon. I cook salmon better than anybody you've ever had it from.
Except me.
We'll have to put that to the test.
What? How did you make it?
Well, it's a secret.
Well, I will tell you, I'm not ashamed of my secret. I do this really cool miso and soy glaze.
Okay, I use soy.
Okay, try a miso. And then if you want to get really bougie, you can take some pistachios and chop them up and put them on top.
Ooh, I like the pistachio. That's I'm gonna try that next time.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And then I made Brussels sprouts with bacon and Brussels sprouts au gratin with bacon.
Au gratin?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are gonna have to send me all these recipes because I think
we're gonna have to just have a cook-off, a family cook-off one day, and every show just needs to bring it to the table. That'll be a family reunion. Here's
my thing. I have been needing to come to Florida.
Come on down.
So I think I need to come to Florida.
I have a guest room right there.
And we need to do a back of the cereal box episode with you as a guest co-host, and we can have a food episode.
Awesome, because I created a cook-off show last year with MegaCon, and I brought in the host of Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and we did a cook-off, 2020, and then Christian tried to copy my idea last year, and I called him out for it, and then we had another cook-off, so it was great. So let's do it.
So do you know some people at MegaCon?
So I'm the Fan Expo HQ, or Fan Expo Meetups Ambassador for MegaCon Orlando. Yes, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Call me. Okay.
Let's friend each other.
We'll hook
this
each other
is a great
up.
connection to have.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll share recipes. Sounds good.
And
All right.
hugs.
I need, yeah, right.
Yes.
I need green ones. I don't have anything right now. I usually have like a green leather wrap, but
Well, I am double vaxxed, so
God.
give me all the hugs.
Listen,
Yes.
I got my booster yesterday. I'm feeling sick as a dog today, but
Oh no, I have green somewhere in my holographic sequence that
There
I'm
you
really
go.
reading on camera.
there
we
you go.
Well, I mean, we started off the show on a sad note, but I think we ended on a good note. It truly is. Life is what you make of it. You got to appreciate people while you're here. I appreciate you guys. I told Willow, John, you'll appreciate this one. I thought Willow hated me the first time I ever met her. On like in chat, I'm like, oh my God. And I think I actually asked Brian, I was like, did I do something? Willow doesn't like me. And I was like, hey, and you're like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh crap, I'm sorry, I pissed you off. And now like you're amazing. And you've literally like talked me off of a ledge a couple of times.
You know what? I apologize if I came across that I was mean.
I come across like that no matter how long people have known me. You're fine.
Yeah, and look, I'm completely unlikable. So, Willow,
I hate you. I don't like you at all.
The problem with me, I get like, if I'm in like a weird headspace, I get very blunt and to the point, and a lot of people I work with tend to make me sound like I'm
no.
a bitch,
But... That's the Winnipeg in you.
No, screw that, because that's how I am too, and I live in Florida.
Yeah, but where she is, see, I'm helping her. Where she is, it's all about time efficiency. It's too damn cold in Winnipeg to stand around and be polite. You're welcome, Willow.
Thank you.
And on that note, you're welcome, Willow. Well, I guess Willow and I will keep everybody posted. Johnny, we're going to friend each other like right now. Send me a friend request, slip into my DMs. And I'm sure we'll see like 48 mutual friends. It'll be great. But thanks for having me on the show. And I can't wait to see what kind of trouble we can get into.
I'm looking forward to working with you more, Heather. This is definitely the start of a beautiful friendship, and sorry to be so cliche, but
I love it, because I was going to say the same thing. Girl, you got it. Johnny, it's been interesting. No. Bye, guys.
All right, everyone, have a good night. Thanks for joining us here.
Catch you on the flip side.